Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We're here in our newly remodeled studio with HD components, so bear with us as we are getting this up to speed. We have some exciting video clips for you from the Seattle Hemp Fest. Casper Leach is here to co-host the show with me. John Cornett is standing by in the wings to, hey John, to sing us some music, and we'll be back in just a minute after we bring on our infamous dancing Cannabis Leaves. I feel the Yeah. This is an old favorite of mine. It's a song by Neil Young. Right. Born to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and colored balloons. You can be 20. Hello, hello. Okay. You married too soon. It's so noisy at the fair when all your friends are there, and the candy floss you had, your mother and your dad. Born to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. Leaving there too soon. Just down the aisle, Otis turned to see her smile. You can hear the words she wrote when you read the hidden note. Born to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can be 20 Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. Leaving there too soon. Now you're underneath the stairs, woman. To the people that you met, it's your first cigarette. Born to live on Sugar Mountain with the markers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. Leaving there too soon. Now you say you're leaving home 'cause you want to be alone.
you feel? Finding out it's real. Born to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored blues. You can be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. Leaving there too soon. Thank you very much.
That's John Cornett. You are watching Cannabis Common Sense. We are taking live phone calls. If you're watching out there, you can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4442. Okay. 503-288-4442. How are you doing, Casper?
Outstanding. Thank you for having me here this week, and it's been just a blast to be hanging out with you and your crew all week long.
We had a good time at Seattle Hemp Fest. That
I
was a
did.
real event.
I did, and can I, at the top of the hour, take a moment to say something special to you and your team?
Sure.
At Seattle Hemp Fest was probably the most exciting time I've had in my whole life. And Paul and his team made it possible. And they got me there. They made it possible for me to have an all-access pass from the time I walked onto the property all the way to the very backstage. And it was just the ability to hang out with my friends, everybody there at the Hemp Fest, and enjoy the music. And seriously, I cannot think of a better time ever in my life. Vivian McPeak truly does an outstanding job, a whole mile long of amazing vendors, and it has taken the hemp industry from something that Jack Hare envisioned as he would sit and put his books together to what it is today. And you and your team made it possible for me to be there and be part of that outstanding piece of history. And I sincerely want to thank you for memories that will last.
You're very welcome, Casper. You know, we are the presenting sponsors of the Seattle Hemp Fest. For those of you who don't know, the Seattle Hemp Fest is a festival on the waterfront of Seattle that attracts a couple 100,000 people, and over a 3-day period, well over 300,000 people.
Wow.
So it's the largest free speech event in the United States, the largest festival on the West Coast. And if you ever want to be inspired about changing marijuana laws and the general use of hemp, you should go to the Seattle Hemp Fest. It's always on the third weekend in August every year. There's a little pile of hemp seeds. We are promoting hemp, and so these are little hemp seeds. They're high in protein and all of the omega-3 and omega-6s that we need. We'll be selling hemp seeds at our Portland Hemp Stock Festival that's coming up in just another 2 weeks. It's September 8th and 9th. So we're getting ready for that, and we urge you to come down to Kelly Point Park at the far northwest of Portland, right at the convergence of the Willamette and Columbia Rivers, the two largest rivers here in the western United States, and enjoy a couple of days of music and fun. Not quite as big as the Seattle Hemp Fest, but the next biggest one here on the West Coast, and only third, we believe, to Boston's Freedom Fest, which happens a week or two after ours. So we have a caller on the line. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello, caller. We are a volunteer crew here, and we're in a new digital studio, so our crew has new soundboards and everything, and we're...
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It is amazing that we are coming up on the election, and there is this fantastic measure on the ballot that is going to make it possible for the people in this state to be part of history forever. And why don't you let people know what that is, Paul?
Sure. We've been working. In fact, we started this show back in 1996. We're going on 16 years now to promote the legalization of hemp and cannabis. and we have put an initiative on the ballot, the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act, to do just that. It's now Oregon's ballot measure 80. We'll have a historic opportunity here on November 6th to regulate the marijuana market, allow people to grow their own, and restore hemp for fuel, fiber, and food. So we urge you to vote yes on Measure 80. If you're not registered to vote and you live here in Oregon, get registered. You didn't think you had something to vote for before, you have something to vote for now. You know, you don't have to vote for all those different candidates and judges and anything. Just vote for the things you really believe in, and we hope you'll vote yes on Oregon's ballot measure 80. Let's see if we can bring that caller in again here. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello, caller.
Well, hello.
Nope. Nope.
Well, and this is the time to do it because we got a mayor who's all for the ending of prohibition. We got an attorney general who's excited about the idea of standing behind patients getting their medications. We got senators who are working on the floor to get the industrial hemp bills pushed forward. Paul, it just seems like we really are on the cusp of breaking down that wall.
We certainly are. You know, there are polls, there's initiatives on the ballot in Colorado, Amendment 64, to legalize marijuana, allow people to buy it in stores. There's an initiative on the ballot up in Washington, it's I-502, that would allow people to buy it in stores and possess up to an ounce. Then we have our initiative in Oregon. It goes a little bit farther. It allows people to grow their own and possess non-commercial cannabis and regulate and tax the sale to adults, allow patients to get untaxed cannabis. Patients' cannabis will actually be subsidized through these state stores and not taxed, where the sales to those over 21 who are not patients will be taxed, therefore more expensive. It'll also be available in pharmacies once we set up our regulatory model. So if you want to find out more about the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act and Oregon's ballot measure 80, go to octa2012.org. That's octa2012.org.
And there seems to be a handful of people who are very excited about this particular measure that we're doing in Oregon because of the industrial hemp aspect of it. I've seen floating around the internet some statistics about the amount of money that will be generated in jobs and tax revenue and the amount of money that's saved from by not incarcerating.
Yeah, according to Jeffrey Myron of Harvard University, we'll be saving $61.5 million a year when our state stops arresting and prosecuting and jailing marijuana growers and dealers and dealing with marijuana possession tickets. So we urge you to find out more about the initiative and vote yes on Oregon's Measure 80. And be sure to register to vote. We see that a large percentage of our community are not registered to vote. Even in Oregon, you can be a felon and vote. So a lot of people think if you're convicted of a felony, you lose your voting rights, and that's true in some states, but Oregon is not among those. The Oregon Supreme Court back in the 1950s ruled, and as long as you are not locked up in jail at the time of the election, then you can register to vote. And you know, here in Oregon, we mail our ballots. You don't have to get up and figure out where your polling place is and go stand in line and get to vote. We will mail those ballots directly to your home, and they get mailed out, I believe it's October 19th, and then they just have to be turned in and received by November 6th, and they'll be counted. And that's one of the reasons that Oregon has the highest voter turnout in the country. Now we're going to try to take a phone call again. Maybe we'll have the technicalities worked out. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello, caller. Doesn't seem to be working for us tonight, huh?
No, it doesn't. But then the other thing that I think is unique too is that we're going to have a cash crop for our farmers to be able to use for so many different things.
That's true.
If once this passed, Oregon should end up being the most wealthy state in all the nation.
It will definitely realign our whole economy when we start using hemp seed oil for fuel, and the byproduct that's going to be food. So if we start using biofuels from hemp, which are at least 3 times more productive than the most productive tree species, then we will create tons of new jobs in the world's largest industry, the energy industry. Mm-hmm. And so that will put us on the cutting edge of environmentally sustainable development. And not only that, there's the hemp fiber industry. You know, Oregon's famous as a timber producing state, but we've cut a lot of that timber and we can't cut nearly as much as we used to. So we've got closed mills and fiberboard plants and pulp and paper mills. This will give those industries a new raw material to open back up with, to make hemp fiberboard, hemp paper, pulp, and hemp textiles. Literally, you can make over 50,000, maybe over 100,000 different products from industrial hemp.
Well, two of the aspects of this particular war on drugs, or this prohibition, that has always baffled me is we have the ability of freeing ourselves from foreign oil, and that money that we spend on foreign oil is going into the coffers of those who want to do us harm. So I can't imagine why we'd want to take our national treasure and transfer it to our enemies' pockets. That was one. And secondly, we're always trying to find a way to employ people coast to coast and keep America strong and our dollar strong. And by ending this prohibition, we free up a plant that will create, as you pointed out, 50,000 different products that will create millions and billions of jobs.
Yeah, definitely. We will create hemp fuel, hemp fiber, and food and medicine industries with this initiative. So we urge you to vote yes on Measure 80. We're going to try to run a film clip here, and hopefully we'll do a little bit better at it than we've done at these phone calls. Let's watch this clip. Let's see if we can get sound in here.
Tireless campaigner for her husband. She's an incredible activist and a tremendous person. Give it up to Jody Emery.
Thank you so much, Vivian. And thank you so much to HempFest. This is my 4th year here. And every year I am filled with hope because I know our movement is winning. And you're here in the world's largest cannabis celebration. There are people worldwide right now who are so envious of you. They would give anything to come to Seattle HempFest. And you're lucky enough to be here because there are tireless activists working day in and day out all year long to make this happen for you for free to attend. So you owe it to everybody here. Just give $1. You all got at least $1, I'm sure. Please donate to HempFest because this event is free to attend, to speak about freedom, but it's not free to put on. So show them a little gratitude for that when you leave. My husband's name is Mark Emery. He was called the Prince of Pot by CNN and the Rolling Stone and Wall Street Journal. Media all over the world covered my husband because he did something no one else would do. In 1994, Mark Emery decided to start selling marijuana seeds to people worldwide, no matter where you live. And in the United States, California passed medical marijuana laws, but there was a need for medicine in the form of seeds. And my husband decided to be brave to sell those seeds to Americans and people worldwide. So not only did Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot, provide millions and millions of marijuana seeds to people worldwide to grow their own medicine and save their own lives, but he promised that every dollar spent on those seeds would go to legalization efforts. He financed ballot initiatives for medical marijuana in Colorado, Washington, D.C., Nevada, Arizona, Alaska, many places where it passed or failed. Mark helped make that happen. Mark founded the U.S. Marijuana Party. He's a Canadian citizen. He never even left Canada, but he knew the U.S. is where the drug war begins and where it must end. So he financed the marijuana movement with millions of dollars. All of the money from those seeds went to activism in this country, in this state, in this city, and places worldwide to help the activists on the ground become leaders in their own right and take forward the torch of victory. And Mark Emery was the most famous activist for that reason. He said, plant the seeds of freedom to overgrow the government. And here we are today, where the U.S. has made so much progress. It's a beacon of hope for the rest of the world because the drug war started here and it spreads around like a cancer. It kills people with the drug war in Mexico. It kills people worldwide. It imprisons people, ruins families, takes away fathers from their little babies. It hurts people who hurt no one. You aren't hurting anyone, but the law is designed to hurt you. So you, like my husband and every other activist taking a stand, owe it to the people in prison and the people who died to change this law. Here in Washington this November, legalization is on the ballot. Vote yes on I-502 for legal stores selling legal marijuana to protect you from going to prison and to send a message worldwide that we need freedom. And legalization starts here so it can then spread throughout the world. And my husband, who is imprisoned for his activism, the DEA admitted it was all about the money. They tracked all the money and they said, yeah, he gave it all away to political activists and campaigns. Mark Emery was a threat to the U.S. drug war, and that's why they took him down. They brought him into this country when he never even came here. Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot, is a Canadian who planted the seeds of freedom to overgrow the government, to save people's lives, and he's a hero, like all the heroes in prison, because of this drug war, and we owe it to them. Because you're here today, you're free today, you get to be here, you get to vote, you owe it to all of those people suffering worldwide to change this, to legalize marijuana, end prohibition, and support everybody who's taking action to make that happen today. So thank you, Seattle Hempfest. This smoke signal goes worldwide, and it should be followed by yes on 502, legalization this November. Vote yes, make a difference, save lives, and legalize marijuana. Thank you very much. I'm Jody Emery. My husband is Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot.
So that it was an excerpt from the main stage at the Seattle Hemp Fest just last Saturday, I believe that was. Saturday, the last weekend. So we're taking your phone calls or attempting to do so. If you have a question or comment for us, you can call us at 503-288-4442. You find her inspirational, Casper?
Yeah, she always looks amazing.
Uh-huh.
Everywhere she goes, I don't know how she does it, but while she's out there campaigning for ending prohibition, she always looks amazing. Jody, we love you. Keep strong.
They're just raw hemp seeds. They're high in all the essential fatty acids, the omega-3, 6, and 9 that our body needs in just the right balance that you need. They also have all 8 of the amino acids that humans need in a perfect balance for human health. So it's really nature's perfect food.
So do you have like a tablespoon a day, a teaspoon a day?
I think a tablespoon a day will give you all your EFAs and some of your
like toss them on salad or?
Then the thing is, you can take a ton of these, and for every ton that you press, you're going to get over 100 gallons of oil.
Wow.
And then what's left over, about 1,500 pounds or so, you have in high-protein hemp seed meal.
My God.
So it's very, very useful.
Isn't this the seeds that they use to stave off famine?
It certainly can. Certainly can. In fact, in Nebraska right now, the Fish and Wildlife Department in Nebraska tells the harvest the feral or wild hemp there because it leaves the seeds above the snow that the birds can eat in the winter. And so right now they've got a terrible drought in Nebraska, and everything's brown except for the hemp, which sends down a taproot as deep as it is tall. And so we have a studio audience member who has a question. We're going to give the mic over to our studio guest. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir, Paul. I just wondered if it pays to ask, would those seeds be Monsanto brand by chance?
No, these are completely non-regulated when it comes to Monsanto. I don't think there is a Monsanto brand of hemp at this point.
Yet.
So
let's hope that never happens.
Yeah. Well, with our initiative, we equitably distribute the licenses for cultivating cannabis among all applicants. So no one big company will be able to take it over. We also make it where the seeds and starts of all types of cannabis are free, so that they won't be regulated and they can be sold in horticulture shops. And so it will create a whole new avenue for breeders to develop new types and new varieties and cultivars.
That's what I think is so cool too, the way they are coming up with new strands and that are helping with different types of ailments, and they're coming up with different strands that are sturdier, or maybe even provide strong, more oils.
You know, these come from the low THC hemp that's cultivated up in Canada. These are imported from Canada, but the seeds grown here from our higher THC variety are much larger seeds, and they're much more oily, and they are sweeter. They have a better flavor than these tiny little sativa seeds that you can get. But this is better than any other protein out there, so it still does very, very well. So again, you know, we're gearing up for the election this November 6th, and we urge you, you know, Jody Emery was talking about Washington's I-502. There's Oregon's Measure 80 to legalize personal cultivation of cannabis, legalize and tax and regulate the sale of marijuana to adults, allow patients to buy untaxed cannabis, and free industrial hemp for fuel, fiber, and food. And so we believe this will raise hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. I know the state of Washington came up with an estimate of $2 billion over a period of 5 years. They think they're going to raise $400 million a year in revenue. So we can compare that. Our financial impact statement is much, they'd say they don't know. They're throwing up their hands. They're not even saying what it will be. But we have estimates from Jeffrey Myron that will bring in tens of millions of dollars and save tens of millions of dollars.
I'd like to think that this is making our legislative body jump up and down with excitement that we're going to be able to pay our bills.
Maybe jump up and down with apprehension is more like it. They're wanting to see how these polls go, and we have a poll out in the field right now, so we'll have some information in the next couple of weeks. We'll be able to announce from our own poll. I'm sure the media will start doing a few polls for us as well.
You want to ask me a few questions? I can certainly be happy to answer a few.
Okay, you'd vote yes on our bill, right?
I would.
Okay, so you're one in that column for sure. Of course, we won't put you in the official poll, but I'm not conducting the poll. So there you have it. So you do a radio show on the internet and on several radio stations, the American Freedom Radio Network. You want to tell our audience about that?
I'm blessed to be able to do such a thing because I meet so many really interesting people from all around the world. It's on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It's called Time for Hemp Live. Every Thursday, Paul Stanford is the joint host. And on Mondays, we also have Mary Lynn Mathery and Al Burns for Healthy Mondays. And we have Kelly Kristen from KDK Distributors on Tuesday, when we put a spotlight on all the amazing activists up in Canada. Wednesday, Peter Chris sits down and takes Time for Hemp with all the people from LEAP, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. And on Thursdays, of course, we cover the political scene in America. On Fridays, we roll into a small town somewhere on the planet, chill out with a smoothie and a candy bar and a fatty, and we talk about what's going on in their neck of the woods and put a spotlight on a hardworking activist somewhere in the world. So it's a fun show. I get to meet all kinds of cool people, and we get a great archive. You go to iTunes, you can download us for free, type in Time for Hemp in the search engine, and all of our programs can be found up there. And I like to put a spotlight on musicians up there. So yeah, lots of music, lots of guests, lots of fun, lots of knowledge. Take Time for Hemp. Thank you, Paul, for letting me do that. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Because my guest is what makes it fantastic, and our joint host is what makes it great.
Well, I'm just a joint host one on Thursdays. You have other joint hosts like Michael Kravitz from back in Virginia and others.
Amazing group of people. So
yeah.
Thank you. Let me do that.
Sure. So we'll be running some more film clips in just a moment. I'm not sure whether we can bring in phone calls. No.
Well, one thing that's concerned me is how people are always saying, this is not going to be a safe thing to end prohibition for children. We're putting children at peril. We're opening up the whole new market, and a whole new culture, and a whole new scene. And you and I both know that that's just a little over the top there.
Yeah, it's going to take the drug market out of the hands of kids. You know, back during alcohol prohibition, it wasn't unusual for entire schools to close because the student body was drunk. Today it's very easy for students to get access to marijuana because they can buy it from someone else right there in the classroom, or at least they can arrange to buy it after school hours. Drug dealers don't ask for ID, and so we want to put it into a regulated environment and take the market out of the hands of the children and put it where the age limit will be strictly enforced. So we urge you to support ballot measure 80 and register and vote and get involved in that campaign.
And the historic aspect of it too, because this has been put together in a way that it will withstand a challenge in court.
Yeah, we designed it specifically to be upheld in federal court. We have another little film clip we're going to roll, and we'll be back in just a minute right after this clip.
This is a letter from one of our friends at High Times. My dear friends, I just want you all to know how much I envy you. The activists who have worked for the passage of Prop 19 have created better coalitions, attracted more press, and changed more minds than any previous effort. And always remember, you have a bud at High Times Magazine.
It could happen Tuesday, finally, the end of the 60s counterculture. All of us aging hippies and unrepentant cannabis connoisseurs will be forced to face the fact that we are them. If Prop 19 passes recreational use of marijuana, we must face the rock music and accept the fact that the counterculture is now the mainstream culture.
We were young and bored and going nowhere.
Happy Halloween! Yes, I'm Prop 19.
But we didn't care. We were all mixed up. We were all messed up. We're misunderstood.
Your pardon with the sound quality and everything tonight.
Still
it's
learning.
Just they're learning this new equipment. Maybe we should have trained some other time. I don't know. This on the air training is a little rough.
But isn't that how we do it with this movement? We're always
I guess
sitting the
so.
ground.
On the job training.
Yeah, we don't have time to wait. We got to get this message out because it is urgent that people realize the importance of this, isn't it?
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true. So we thank you for bearing with us, and we will continue to, well, we got about another 25 minutes to go.
Well, and we're also lucky to have such a diligent and patient crew who will work through all the technical problems and make certain that we still put out a stellar message. So thank you so much.
So we are, once again, trying to pass ballot measure 80, and we need your help to do it. So to find out more about that, go to octa2012.org. That's octa2012.org.
And people need to double check their voter registration, don't they?
Yeah, you never know if you're not a valid voter. If you haven't gotten the ballot in the last couple of elections or the last election, you should double register. Make sure that you're actually registered. So get involved and register and vote.
Wow, special effects tonight too.
We do, and we seem to be stuck on just camera 3. No, there aren't any other camera angles here tonight.
Well,
so I'm not sure exactly what's
you've
going
been
on.
doing
Maybe
this-
we should just kind of cancel this show and come back and do it another night.
To me,
you
I
know?
think it's a great time to tell that people,
Okay.
remind people how long you've been doing this. I mean, because this is tonight we're doing a live broadcast and we're working through technical problems. But how many? You've been 16 years at this, right?
Yep, it'll be 16 years in about another month. I think it was October of 1996. Hey, there's
go.
some other camera angles.
And you've had some.
They figured out the switcher.
And you've had some funny moments on the show over the past 16 years, I'm sure. Correct?
There have been. There have been a lot, a lot of shows. We haven't really messed up like we have these past couple shows, though. These have been probably the worst shows in the history of the show. This is, I think, like show number 650.
Well,
Let's see if we can get the phone.
It's not messed up. We haven't trained like this.
That's true.
We haven't trained like this. We don't
so
mess up.
we're going to try a phone call again. Welcome to the show, caller.
Slow.
That's kind of funny. All right, guys. You know, I think that there's a couple things I want to announce. I know that Los Marijuanos is going to be at the Cannabis Cafe tomorrow. That's one of our favorite bands, Los Marijuanos. They'll be at our Portland Hempstock Festival on the 8th and 9th. So if you're here in the Portland area and you want to see Los Marijuanos, go down to the Cannabis Cafe tomorrow night.
Pony Boy is going to be in town.
Pony Boy,
I
guess he's playing in Longview tonight.
Oh my gosh.
He's in Longview, which is only about 60 miles away.
When he walks into a room, he fills up the room. No matter
quite
what
a
size
personality.
the room.
There's no doubt about that.
He's amazing. Bright, charismatic, charming, funny, witty, on the dime, dry sense of humor.
So he'll be at the Cannabis Cafe tomorrow night at, I think it's 322 Southeast 82nd Avenue. So we thank the folks out there for doing that. So I think the aliens tried to call us there. It was they were speaking in a different language. I'm not sure exactly.
I thought I was going through a time warp, real slow motion there.
It's just a jump to the left.
Is it?
And then a step to the right. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to get any phone calls in here tonight, but the main message that we can give you tonight is register and vote.
Yeah, really.
Get your friends to register and vote. That's the most important thing. If you're watching this show, you probably are interested in cannabis and ending adult cannabis prohibition, restoring hemp for fuel, fiber, and food. That's what we want to do. So,
and a house party. Invite your neighbors over.
That's true.
And educate them with Jack's books. Show them some of the material that you find on the internet. Share with them the video that you find here on Cannabis Common Sense. Let them know about our show. They used to do that back in the 60s and 70s when you wanted to teach people about a candidate that you wanted to sponsor or what was going on the local front, to encourage your neighbors to vote your way. Well, a lot of your neighbors are oblivious to the fact that we're creating jobs. We're ending prohibition in a way that's going to quit arresting people. We're going to save taxes. We're going to be able to keep schools open. So much good's going to happen from this. They still consider it to be something more of a recreational or a social activity when it's actually a cash crop that's going to embrace this state and send us into a situation where we can take care of our own. So please get a hold of your neighbors, bring them over to a little gathering, have a carry-in dinner, maybe a house-to-house gathering, bring information, bring literature, and let them know up front it's going to be an educational night, and we're going to learn why it is that Oregon is going to be leading the rest of the nation on an historic movement to end prohibition.
You know, a moment ago we were showing a clip from a new movie. It didn't go too well, but you know, like a lot on tonight's show. But the clip was from this new movie called Legalize It, and it's about the Prop 19 campaign down in California. The producers of that show will be on this TV show here in a couple weeks, and we'll be doing house parties. That movie won't premiere until next November, but we will be showing Legalize It, the movie, at the Portland Hempstock Festival on the night of Saturday, September 8th. So if you come down to the Hempstock Festival, you'll get an opportunity to watch it there. And then we'll be doing house parties. If you'd like to bring the actual producers into your home and show this movie and help raise some money for Measure 80 to end adult marijuana prohibition and restore industrial hemp, then give us a call at the number there on your screen. It's 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. You know, we've spent a lot of money to put ballot Measure 80 on the ballot. We need your help. We are actually in debt right now. We've got some people that aren't getting paid, and we want to pay them. And I put a lot of money into it through our clinics, but we're kind of tapped out right now. We need donations. We really do need donations to help fund this campaign. We're on the ballot, but to date we've raised less than $1,000 since we've made the ballot, which is kind of sad. We've been on the ballot for over 6 weeks now. And so we want to urge you to go to our website at octa2012.org and make a contribution. You know, a $50 contribution, if you're an Oregon state taxpayer, is entirely refundable when you file your taxes next year. It's called the Oregon Political Tax Credit. You can make a donation to an Oregon political committee and you get a refund of up to 100% of $50 or less. And if you're a married couple filing jointly, that's $100. So right now we owe about $25,000 in payroll to some of the people who helped put this thing on the ballot. And we certainly need your help to pay them. And so if you can make a donation, that would be an enormous help. So go to our website and help fund this and help us advertise. We've got some exciting visual ads that will be coming out over the next few weeks. We've got a design firm that's designed them at no cost, pro bono, and they will garner a lot of publicity. But we need money, the lifeblood of politics, to be able to run this campaign. And so we urge you, if you support ending adult marijuana prohibition, restoring industrial hemp, and being able to grow your own without a fee, license, or registration, then we need your support right now. So please come into our office there at 2712 Northeast Sandy and make a donation. And or go to our website at octa2012.org. Yeah, it's not good not being able to pay the people who helped put this thing on the ballot. We spent about $400,000 so far to do it, but we need more to run this campaign effectively. So we urge you to donate and help us pay our petitioners and advertise so we can win this election.
And I know that there are people out there who do want to see this happen, and they are in our state. They have a good background of gives them the opportunity to make this happen. I don't want to say you got a fat checkbook, but we know you do. And this is a good time to reach into that checkbook and to send it this direction, because your little donation to you is a big donation to us, and it's going to take a chunk of change to change history and to make this happen. So.
Yeah, we have not been able to garner the donations that Colorado and Washington State have brought in. They have been backed by the deep pockets of George Soros and his money trading, and Peter Lewis, the heir and developer of Progressive Insurance. So far, those guys haven't given us a penny. And we don't think they will at this point. So we need to build up our grassroots support. So we urge you to go online, make a donation at octa2012.org, or come into our office at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard and get involved in the process. I spent a number of hours on the phone trying to raise some money here today, and that's the main thing I want to focus on, is get your friends registered to vote. Register, vote, get that ballot. Make sure, I think the deadline to register is October 16th. So we want to make sure that if you haven't received a ballot in the mail recently, you need to fill out another voter registration form. You can actually do that online. You can register to vote online, and then make sure you get a ballot. And when you do get it, go vote yes on 80 and mail it in or take it in to your county elections office. We're going to try this telephone call thing one more time. Maybe the 5th or 6th time will be the charm here. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how
I'm
are you
all for
doing?
Measure 80, and I'm a supporter.
Thank you.
But I have kind of a different question that's not on that topic.
Okay.
I own some property, and I know that you can get your grower's card, but I've had a habitual problem with people turning whole houses into commercial operations way beyond what they should be for like dozens and dozens of users and patients. And the police just tell me tough. Everywhere I turn, I'm told tough, and my roofs are ripped out. The houses are trashed. The last time it cost me $6,000 and 3 months to remodel it. And I mean, I grew up in the '60s. I'm all for the movement, but where do you?
Well, that's
turn?
one of the things that, when we legalize it with Measure 80, or in a future campaign if Measure 80 doesn't pass here this time, then it will change that whole dynamic. It will just remove the artificial economic incentives to cultivate marijuana when we can do it legally. Growing indoors is very expensive. It's not environmentally sound or ecologically sustainable. It really is a lot better to have sun-grown cannabis. It's a myth that indoor cannabis is better. Actually, outdoor cannabis is better, and it's better for the environment and better for the plants. So I'm sorry to hear that happen. All I can say is just have to maybe inspect your house. You give them 24-hour notice and come in and look at it and make certain that they're not doing those sorts of things to tear up your house.
But when it's discovered, do you know of any avenue other than going over there with a golf club and smashing them in the head with it?
You can evict them. Yeah, you can evict them. You can ask for a higher deposit, I suppose, to try to cover your expenses. If you have large amounts of damage, you can pursue them in court and go into small claims court or district court and file a lawsuit to try to recover your losses.
Right. But I guess my question is there any avenue in the provider process when you get your permit to be a provider and you exceed that and you go past that and it's documented, is there any way to revoke that?
If you're charged criminally, then the person who has violated the law cannot be a caregiver again. And they can't be their own caregiver for a period of 5 years. And if they violate the medical marijuana law a second time, then they can't ever be a caregiver. If they're a patient, then they have to name someone else as their caregiver, and they can never possess more than an ounce if they are guilty of violating the medical marijuana law. And
so it comes back to the police not regulating and not caring. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, well,
I wish I could give you better news, but all I can say is just inspect, ask for enough of a down payment, and if someone does destroy your property, your remedy is to file a legal suit, which is expensive and time-consuming. If they don't have the resources, it's difficult to collect on. But at the same time,
that's the civil.
Yeah, civil.
The criminal side of it, the police, what they told me was, oh, they have a grower's permit, they can do whatever they want.
Well, that's
not true. The whole house is growing. And they said, well, but they have a permit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So,
that might be the way that particular police officer feels. If that police officer's told you that, I guess you need to find another one. And don't deal with that one. Go to his superior, or go down to the police station till you find an officer that will listen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, go Measure 80.
Thank you. That'll just change the whole dynamic and end this farce of prohibition and restore hemp to its rightful place in our economy. We believe it's going to create tens of thousands of jobs. But thanks for your support.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry to hear
Have
what you've been.
They've been closing down dispensaries in Washington this week and in California.
There have been several dispensaries in Washington and in Oregon that have received letters from the state U.S. attorney saying they are going to close them down. So
too close to a school, too close to a playground, you should
or a
know
daycare
better.
facility, or anything like that. So it's difficult to find a location that's more than 1,000 feet from all of those. But
what do they want us to do? Go so far out in the desert that no one sees us?
I think that's it.
Oh, fine.
I think that's it.
Fine.
So again, it's time to register. We're getting ready for the vote. So get out there and support Measure 80. Maybe we can get another phone call in. You can call us at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. And, gee, we got about 8 minutes left.
Well, that gives us time to cover some of the new medical research that's come out on the internet. I know that you're aware of some of those things, and you've been passing that information out through Facebook. It is exciting what they're coming up with, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that marijuana is an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. It can fight cancer, lower inflammation, increase longevity. It has a lot of benefits. And, we urge you also to try vaporization or taking cannabis orally as opposed to smoking. Most of the harm associated with marijuana has to do with its harm on your pulmonary system. Even though it doesn't cause lung cancer, it's actually shown to fight cancer. It has been shown to cause emphysema or CPOD for people who have are prone to that. So we urge you to try vaporizer and try edibles as an alternative to
And
smoking.
we know if you've got problems with your joints, smoke a joint.
Another issue. We are going to try one more phone call here. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well. How are you?
Groovy.
Yeah, I really like your program.
Thanks. I appreciate you bearing with us tonight through our technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah. I had a question about fertilizer in my garden.
Uh-huh.
Go fuck yourself.
Well, speaking of fertilizer, we got politicians that are out there that are trying to end prohibition, but by making...
Boy, that was funny, wasn't it?
Oh, boy. But we'll move it. If we're going to talk about...
What an asshole.
We'll talk about fertilizer. We'll talk about the politicians that are wanting to keep prohibition in place and want to keep arresting people.
That's true.
That's
true.
fertilizer. Just
so, we're running up on time. We got John Cornette ready to play some music here. We'll be learning our studio a little bit better over the next few weeks to come. It's a shame that it's happening right here in the middle of our political campaign, but so it goes. We're on the ballot. Register, vote, go to our website, make a donation. We certainly need your help right now. Show that you support ending adult marijuana prohibition, restoring industrial hemp. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing, Casper?
Yes, it's very important that you are registered, that your friends are registered, that you have your house parties, you get the message out, you get involved, and you get active, because if you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem.
And how do they find out about your radio show again?
You go to time4hemp.com, or you can also go to americafreedomradio.com and find us there Monday through Friday, and make it a point to let your friends know that every time you hear me, you know that it's time for hemp.
And you're live Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, or 1 o'clock on Eastern time, so watch that and go to our website again, octa2012.org, or our portal to all our websites at hemp.org. Tune in next week. We've got John Cornette with one more song. Thanks for watching, and help us restore hemp.
They say that Richard Cory once won half of this old town with political connections. He spreads his wealth around. He was born into society, the banker's only child. He had everything a man could want: race, power, and style. Papers, paints, shots. He really must be happy with everything he's got. But I work in this factory and I curse the life I'm living. Curse my poverty. I wish that I could be. I wish that I could be. Well, I wish that I could be Richard Corey. Really gave to the charities. He had the common touch. They were actually grateful for his patronage, so they thank you very much. So my mind was filled with wonder when the evening headlines read Richard Corey went home last night and put a bullet in his head. But I work in this factory and I curse the life I'm living. Curse my poverty. I wish that I could be. Wish that I could be. Well, I wish that I could be. Not Richard Corey. But I work in this factory and I curse the life I'm living. Curse my poverty. Wish that I could be. Wish that I could be. Well, I wish that I could be. Not Richard Corey. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Come out to the Hemp Stalk, September 8th, September 9th. I'll be there. Thank you very much, Paul. Peace and love.